Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Domestic Boyfriends podcast. My name is Dean, and always with me is my co host, Vinny.
Hey everyone.
Another day, another dollar, another episode, another week and a half that we don't upload on time. But that's okay, because this week we're back on schedule. We're going to be talking about another Marvel IP. What are we going to be talking about today, Vincent?
We're going to be talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Yeah, She-Hulk. Not He-Hulk, She-Hulk. That will be...
Hulk.
There we go. Yep, the We Hulk 2.
This time with motion controls.
God, It just made me think about something that happened at the end that I really didn't like. But we'll get there eventually. Anyway, the things that we do like, we have a little bit of news. Did you know that Mortal Kombat is releasing a new game? Warner Brothers revealed that NetherRealm Studios, I think it's NetherRealm, is working on this. It's called Mortal Kombat Onslaught. Can you guess what type of game this is, Vincent?
Oh no. It's going to be a 3D action.
No, it is.
It's a fighting game?
Oh, yeah, kind of.
An MMORPG?
Nah, oh, you got the last three letters right.
Oh no.
It is a fighting game. It is a fighting collection RPG. Can you guess what platform it is on?
I was going to say Stadia, but they're shutting that down. Mobile.
Yes. Warner Brothers is making a mobile game. Whether it's a gacha game or not, I'm not very sure. But from the snapshots that I think people have been posting, I think it was just an announcement, but people have been posting snapshots along with it. It just looks like the other mobile game that they made, which is just the fighting game.
Injustice?
Yeah, but or no, it's because they did the mobile fighting game, which was pretty much the same game except dumbed down controls. But I think this is also supposed to be a gacha. It says RPG. It says you can make teams in the description. So yeah, interesting. Not what I thought that they would do on this cash cow. They were just you know what, movie? No, we don't need a second movie. We need a mobile game. Sims 5 is in development under the name Project Renee. It's been a long...
someone with that name.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, Renee, you're famous.
Yeah, apparently Sims 5 is in development. For those who don't know my tragic story, my gaming computer is broken, and I had a pretty decent gaming computer. I had a 2070 and i7. It was pretty decent. I would only play Sims 4. I played Sims 4 for 3 months straight, modded of course, but
Yeah. They just made it free to play.
yeah, makes me a little sad, but
Makes my little sister happy.
yeah,
Her
that's
account
good.
is kaput, and she had the game and then a couple DLC packs, and she just can't access it anymore because the email that it was attached to no longer exists.
Oh,
Yeah, but now she's gonna be able to play the game again.
is the DLC? I'm guessing the DLC is still paid for.
I think so.
Oh, okay,
I think it's just the base game that's free now.
Oh, okay. So it's been $5 on the summer sales. So it's not
Yeah.
too bad. I have a bigger chunk of news, but we'll come back to that. Speaking of gaming stuff, we're just gonna keep gaming stuff in the works right now. Both PlayStation and Microsoft announced their new generation of controllers.
Ass.
Yeah. In my notes it says control. Bad. The DualSense Edge set to release January 26th for $199.99. Is the new PlayStation controller with customizable
$200.
buttons. Yes, it is. It is literally.
Oh, I might buy it still.
It's a third of the price of the system.
Okay, but like you were probably just about to mention, it's gonna have replaceable triggers as well as sticks. So like drift is basically gonna be potentially, hopefully, a thing of the past, or at least a much easier financial decision to fix.
Yes, it is fully customizable with all of the buttons. Back triggers can be mapped in game, and has like they don't have to be buttons. They can, like you can have
Like
like the back.
paddles.
Yeah, the back buttons can actually be paddles, which I think is kind of weird. But
I think the controller looks sick.
yeah, sleek design, wireless. I think it's
200.
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a controller, but like it's probably like a one and done sort of situation, you know? Like if you need a controller, you don't need to worry about buying another one, hopefully.
Yeah, but what if you want two of these nice controllers? That's like that's almost an
Yeah.
entire PlayStation. What if you need a
That is
family
an
worth?
entire PlayStation. That's the entirety of a digital one.
That is crazy. I imagine that they're gonna have like they might have like the bundle. Imagine paying $800 for the bundle. God,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And Microsoft revealed the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller, which is also customizable with colors.
Didn't they do that already?
Yeah,
Isn't that the whole thing with the lab?
I think so. But they just released this, and it has it too.
Microsoft, this is the 5th time you've shown us this controller this week.
It's amazing.
It's an Ultra controller.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was funny how both of them like. I don't think there's a definite release date for the Elite Series 2, but both of them are just like new controllers. Meanwhile, like Nintendo's just like new system. But yeah. Uh Speaking of PlayStation, Insomniac stated Spider-Man 2 is still set to track for 2023. I think a lot of people were worried because we haven't gotten announcements and it's this far into the year, almost the next year. Where is Spider-Man 2? I don't know, but Insomniac does, and they said that it's still on track. So whether or not they are having any troubles with development or anything like that is unsure at the moment. But they're keeping their promise. I trust Insomniac. So
I do as well.
next,
Speaking of Insomniac, I actually have something for them.
yeah, go ahead.
Coming November 18th,
Come,
Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming to PC,
Spider-Man.
which isn't like a surprise since we got we've been getting more and more PlayStation titles, and we just got Spider-Man Game of the Year edition or Spider-Man Remastered, sorry, on PC. But it's just awesome that we actually will have this complete package for people to be able to play and try now on PC. I love the Spider-Man games so much. Miles Morales was absolutely fantastic. Not necessarily like on the same level as Spider-Man, but it was never designed to be on the same level. It was its own like standalone kind of
yeah,
expansion sort of side story.
yeah, but priced at a full game, which I hope. I'm not saying like that's like a totally bad
It
thing.
was priced at 40, I thought.
No, I
Oh.
think it's priced at 60.
Ooh.
Yeah, $60 release for something that could have just been like a $40 expansion. I don't think anybody would have been mad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hopefully they'll like release like a bundle deal.
Yeah. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, low discount. Onward with a little bit more gaming news. I'm gonna look up their name because I feel like it's not fun to have this. Helena Taylor, who is the former voice actress of Bayonetta, is currently boycotting Bayonetta 3. You know why? Because Nintendo are apparently very stingy, and only offered her a flat $4,000 for her work on the game.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's rough, man. That's
It's
really rough.
it's sad. There's apparently alleged like statements saying that she was only offered 15 to come back, and like that was their counter offer was four. That's that's crazy.
Like $15?
1500
Oh,
$1,500.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gross.
She made a statement posted on her social media saying how like she still loves the character and everything. It's just like, it's not a lovable wage. Like especially for a game like the last two games. Like Bayonetta 1 was a hidden gem. Bayonetta 2 was a AAA platinum game. And Bayonetta 3, like now that like Nintendo has the IP, like Smash made her even more popular. People love Bayonetta. This was going to sell millions of copies. There's no reason why it wouldn't. It's a AAA Nintendo title that's appealing to an older audience and Nintendo knows the audience is out there for it, and they're offering that low for the main character. It's kind of ridiculous. As a Bayonetta fan, I hope Nintendo can make something out of this. Pay her correctly, so I can actually play the game. Because I will say it will be weird if I do choose to play it without her, because that's literally her voice. It's like, personally, when I think of Batman's voice, I think of Kevin Conroy. I was just thinking about this the other night. How like, knock on wood, if Kevin Conroy ever died, I would not be able to hear anybody else's Batman because like his voice is just so iconic.
Yeah.
Kind of like kind of like the Joker's voice. I
How it's
cannot.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I can't not hear Mark Hamill. Like those two are hand in hand. Wonder Woman and Superman from Justice League Unlimited, kind of like I've heard their other voices. I don't think they're too bad, but like definitely Kevin Conroy, iconic, Mark Hamill, like those voices, and it's the same to me for Bayonetta. So
Yeah. It sucks.
yeah. Um, Last thing I'll talk about. I'm gonna leave this as like the last. I'm gonna leave my like big thing as like the last thing we go into before we go
Yeah.
into like the topic. But this is actually really cool. For those who don't know, at Disney World, at Disney World or Disney. I don't want to. It's not Disney Planet. Disneyland. Disney Planet. I'm so stupid.
Plan.
Disneyland. The Disney Adventure in California, whatever. They have Avengers Campus. Do you know why? Side tangent. Do you know why they can't do the same thing in Florida? Like why
I
Avengers
didn't
Camp?
even know that it was only in California.
Yes, there's apparently a thing because Universal Studios is also in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Universal rights owns like some type of like costume right or like entertainment like people entertainment rights like for costumed people in theme parks for Marvel characters
What?
in the state of Florida apparently or something like that. I remember hearing this. The reason that they can't have an Avengers Campers equivalent in Florida is because Universal Studios, which is also in Florida, not too far away from Disney World, holds rights to the characters being in costume played by actors in a theme park. So if they ever like try to do something like that, they legally cannot without any like actions happening from Universal. Because if you know, in the early 2000s there was like Universal like rides and like attractions based around Marvel characters. There was like the X-Men one, the Spider-Man. I think the Spider-Man one's still up. Like the Hulk one, obviously.
Yeah.
And there'd be costume characters walking around. So yeah,
Huh.
that's why we don't have it in Florida.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, Avengers Campus has a bunch of stuff, has a bunch of collectibles, a bunch of stuff themed after Marvel Cinematic Universe. But they a big thing that's been going on for like since the beginning of this year, I think, is that they have the Infinity Saga replicas of all of the Infinity Stones. Not just the little rocks, but actually like the holding
Oh,
cases that they're
yes.
found in. So like the Power Stones found in like that little orb. Loki Scepter is one of them. Uh, what else? What was the Mind Stone?
The
That was one of those.
cube.
The cube for the Space Stone. The Aether is like the weird little thing that Rocket had, I think.
Jennifer Lawrence's body.
Yeah. And I think the Soul Stone is just in this like contraption. And then the last one that has been revealed that's releasing this month or has already released is actually the Nano Gauntlet itself. And I think the Infinity Gauntlet was released like after Infinity. It was one of the launching items that they had in the park when Avengers Campus went live.
Yeah.
But it came with its own 6 stones. These ones are actually separately. They're props and also have the stones within them that can be put in the Nano Gauntlet.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, so you know, uh, in other theme parks, you can make like lightsabers, like in Galaxy's Edge. You can get your own wand from the Harry Potter parks in Universal. But for $600 plus tax, you can get all of the replicas of the Infinity Saga items. Which on
Are
paper,
they life size?
yeah, I think they are exact replicas. They're 1-to-1
For six
replicas.
hundred? That's honestly not that bad.
Honestly, for like collectibles, I don't think it's that bad. I think Lucky Scepter is like pretty scaled, like pretty to scale.
That's sick.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you're ever out there, and you spend $600. Actually, I don't think on the surface, like, I feel like $600. You're like, okay, that's a lot for toys, but like 1-to-1 replicas and like it's like what is it? How many Infinity Stones are there? 6
Yeah.
plus the Nano Gauntlet replicas that that kind of function, and plus it's not just like the stones; it's like the display pieces. I think that's pretty good, personally.
Absolutely.
I'll shoot it back over to you to finish up.
Absolutely. Well, I've got some news for our favorite upcoming video game, Gotham Knights.
Oh gosh.
It
Okay.
is, in case you had any hope to be able to play this game on console well for the next gen consoles, don't hold your breath because it will be locked at 30 FPS and will not offer a performance mode in any way, shape, or form.
What is this Nintendo bullshit?
It might get added at some later point, but like the lead producer has come out to say no, this is not going to be a launch feature. You guys are going to have to deal with this. Like, come on, man.
This is some Monster Hunter.
I
Nintendo
understand. I don't make
stupid
video games.
stuff.
Making video games is very hard, but like nowadays, is it really that hard to make a performance mode? They'll probably add it in later, but like this is kind of like become sort of a necessity nowadays, like being able to pause in the middle of cutscenes.
I can't get around the fact that this game has already gotten shit on, and like they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna keep rolling out the bad things that people are gonna critique about it.
Yeah.
How can
No.
you? How can a game that releases on next gen consoles getting locked at 30 FPS? I'd understand if like it can't be uncapped at 60, but like that's crazy.
Yeah. It makes me so sad because, like, every now and again I see information for this game and I either get really excited and think about giving it a shot or this happens and I'm like, no, this game's not going to be worth it. Albeit, like, first world problems, I can definitely play this game at 60 FPS on my computer, no problem.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't necessarily want to give them money to support it if they're doing shit like this. Because, like, I'll see, like, info, like, about how big the map is and how, like, detailed it is and how this is the most detailed Gotham we've ever seen. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I see more info about the combat and how they're like, oh, it's updated. It's like the Arkham combat. I'm like, okay. And then they go into more detail and say, it's like Arkham combat where you can block people and hit them back, but you have to really use your skills to be able to do anything. I'm like, that's not really fun. And then they show off the outfits and say, oh, everyone's going to have a Batman Beyond styled outfit. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And now this, I'm like, I'm done.
It's so weird because I was just talking to like my best friend about this, and I was just like, oh, like, I don't think it looks that bad. Like I might, because initially, like, us as like a trio, we were like, oh, we're not gonna get it. And like my one friend was really depressed because he was just like, oh, I really wanted to play this game, and we are just like, oh, we're not gonna play it because like we don't care about it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. And then like stuff like this comes on, I'm just like, oh, why can't we just like,
Yeah.
what are you compromising for this 30 FPS lock? Like what's being like, what good thing is happening? Like,
I mean, the map might be just that big, but you know what? Horizon Forbidden West ran at 60 FPS, so like, how big is your map really?
yeah, like like the PlayStation 5, and I'm pretty sure the Xbox like can run games at a solid 60 without any frame loss or performance loss at all. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I want to see every single pore on Nightwing's body. If it's this so fucking detailed, it's gonna lock me at 30 FPS.
I need to be able to count the hair strands.
How much sweat is being produced from this man's follicles?
Yeah. Anyway, have you heard about Dragon Ball The Breakers?
Yes, I have. I've been watching a lot about it.
Fantastic, because the game has officially released. It's a fantastic game. For those of you that don't know, Dragon Ball The Breakers is a 1v8 game where you either play as the Raider, which so far has been one of three iconic villains from Dragon Ball Z, be it Frieza, Cell, or Majin Buu. And you start as like their lowest form and work your way up. So like Frieza, you start in your pod as first form Frieza. For Cell, you start in his larva state, which is crazy. And then Majin Buu, you start as Spopovich, the Russian guy that stabbed Gohan and stole his power. Spoilers for the Buu saga, if you guys cared. And then you just work your way up. And then everyone else, you try to kill all of the rest of the players, sort of like Dead by Daylight, and evolve. Evolve is probably the best way to put it. And then the rest of the players are scattered around the map. You can help out civilians, collect Dragon Balls to make a wish, or continue with the main goal, which is to fix a time capsule type device to be able to fix the like rift in time that's been created, which is why these villains are here. It's a very, very fun, very goofy game. It's only $20 as well, so like it's a pretty easy buy-in. A lot of people are complaining about it, and like they played it for like an hour, didn't listen to the tutorial, didn't like really pay attention, saw that you could buy things with regular money, and they're like, oh, it's pay to win, refunded it, and then review bombed it. Since then, the game is back up to mostly positive reviews because people have realized that is not the case. It is almost exclusively cosmetics that you can spend your money on. Very fun. And they also announced with the release the next Raider that's going to be added, which is going to be Great Ape Vegeta. Which is sick. It's awesome that they're introducing a character that big. We have some leaks for upcoming content. There's potentially going to be Super Saiyan 4 transformations that you can get for your like regular characters, which gives credence to potentially adding more GT content, like maybe having Omega Shenron be one of the raiders, or maybe
Okay.
Baby be
I
one of
think
the raiders.
I think baby is more ideal to be a
Baby is
raider.
definitely more ideal, but I think Omega Shenron would be sick.
Well,
Um,
you get like Sin, you get like fucking Sin Shenron, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's all the Shadow Dragon Balls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's a fun looking game. I enjoyed the original teaser trailer because I thought it was just supposed to be like a Cell versus everybody type game. Because like that, I initially thought it was supposed to be set in the time of like when Cell was just killing everybody, and like you
yeah,
just have to try and survive, which is like the initial concept of it. But of course, they added in the other characters, which I think is still fun.
absolutely. And last bit that I have here is about our good old friend Chainsaw Man, which has officially debuted. Debuted last week, Tuesday. I'm excited to watch episode 2, which I will be doing after this episode, of the podcast. But, it didn't come out without its issues, though, because Crunchyroll crashed more than twice. The entire site went down for a while, several times, because of how many people were just flocking to the website to watch Chainsaw Man, which is awesome and also hilarious.
Yeah. On that note, Bleach, the next season, the Thousand Year Blood War arc, also debuted last Monday. I just watched the second episode this week. Really excited. If you didn't know, Bleach is back. They're continuing the rest of the manga. It's going to be split up into 4 parts, multiple OVAs afterwards as well, explaining some things that came up. I'm guessing they're going to be adapting some of the light novel content. And they're splitting it up in 4 parts for 4 different seasons because they're not going to be doing any filler. So it's going to be a seasonal anime if anybody was interested in that. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right. We're going to be talking about some stuff that took it with a grain of salt. Apparent Twitter information here. News about the Thunderbolts. Apparently, Scarlett Johansson is being onboarded as the producer. Fun. I really hope, like, they are able to use her skills in it. For, like, for Black Widow, like, Natasha not being in the movie, I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe kind of hinting at a fact that she might be in some way or form. The apparent plot line has to do with Yelena trying to take down Val, Madam Hydra, that we've seen throughout the entirety of I shouldn't say the entirety, most of the Disney Plus shows, like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and what else did we see her?
You tell me.
Oh, forgot. Fake Marvel fan. I think she was
What's
also...
a Marvel?
I think she was in something else. We saw her recruit Yelena, or put Yelena on a mission at the end of the Black Widow movie. Post-credit scene. Forgot about that. So it's apparently about Yelena trying to take her down because Yelena was manipulating her with the death of Natasha, hanging it over her head and telling her that Clint Barton, Hawkeye at the time, Ronan, was the one to kill her. Of course, that is a lie for all of us that watched the movie. Vincent may or may not know this, but he did not kill her. He did not do that to her.
What?
Yeah, spoilers.
Whoa.
So she has a team of Bucky, Alexei, who is like her surrogate, like father figure, and Taskmaster, who I do not care to be in this movie. Nothing on the actress. Poorly made character in adaptation. They are the task force that Yelena has brought together to take down Val. All of them, like, not necessarily being wronged by her, Taskmaster was a manipulated person turned like better. I guess we don't really know their fate. Alexei, uh, being Yelena's surrogate father, I'm pretty sure she's okay with taking him down, or he's okay with taking her down. Especially like if it has to do with Natasha. But Val is not alone. Apparently, Val has Ghost, U.S. Agent John Walker, and Songbird, who has apparently been announced for this movie, allegedly, who have all like come together on her side because like she's brought them to like be better people or like use them for a better purpose. Uh, for those who don't remember, Ghost was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. She has like the phasing abilities from the quantum realm. Was healed by Janet, but apparently is going to have the same powers as before. It's gonna. I'm guessing it's gonna allude to Val recruiting her, and like she's going to make up for what she did in some way. John Walker, we saw at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, being recruited as a knockoff Captain America, and Songbird is someone who has a very complicated comics history. Pretty much has like echokinesis. Songbird being her name, she's pretty much like Black Canary in a way. She dated.
Not to make a joke about how it sounds like Black Canary, but
Yeah, she definitely has those same powers. Like
oh,
other types of like sound manipulation. She was married to like Baron Zemo at one point, and like may or may not be a Yahtzee. So will
oh,
definitely be interesting. I mean,
yeah, I like the boys as well. So
yeah. Val is Madam Hydra in the comics, so you know they go like hand in hand in some way. And pretty controversial. Um, Apparently, Thaddeus T. Thunderbolt Ross is getting recasted to Harrison Ford. Um, for those who don't know, uh, in William Hurt used to play Thunderbolt Ross before his passing in the Incredible Hulk movie and in like Captain America, Black Widow. Pretty. I'm kind of conflicted about this. I feel like the character. I feel like they could work with the character dying. Better than they could another notable character who has stayed dead. Not gonna name any names, but you know Marvel is recasting a character instead of letting them die when they did the exact opposite with a very important character previously. So I like Harrison Ford, but you know I don't know, kind of weird
yeah.
in my opinion.
If there's anyone that I would feel okay doing it, though, I think Harrison would definitely be the one. I feel like Harrison is going to be able to pull off Thunderbolt Ross pretty well, at least.
Well, I think I mean he's pretty old right now, but I think we're forgetting somebody else. For those who didn't know, Sam Elliott also played Thaddeus T. Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh yeah, he did. Wait, what?
Oh, because I remember like for a while I thought that like Sam Elliott was William Hurt, and I was just like, no, this is a different guy. They just look alike. Like they did the Thunderbolt Ross look really good both times, and I was just like, why aren't they bringing him in? But then like I don't know how he looks now. I'm gonna look it up. Like he's 78, but like how is his 78 looking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad, honestly. He looks like he's still like young looking. Like he doesn't look very. He looks like grade, but like that comes with age. He looks like he could still play Thunderbolt Ross. Because like they were kind of pushing like William Hurt's Thunderbolt Ross to be like this person that's dying, and I'm guessing my original thoughts, like the original Thunderbolts movie plan, was going to be, yeah, he looks sickly right now, but he's going to undergo like a hulkification or whatever.
Like a
You
Red
know?
Hulk, right?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Hulk, that's what today's episode's about.
It is?
It all works together. It's all connected. But yeah, I don't know. They totally have an actor there. I mean, Harrison Ford's okay, but they totally have an actor there. But I know a lot of people are kind of up in arms about this recasting just because of everything to do with T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman. About how like a lot of people want the character of like just because Chadwick Boseman has passed, doesn't mean that the character of T'Challa has to be gone as well. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have people watch someone die twice. You know what I mean? Like we grieve Chadwick Boseman and then we have to grieve him again in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. But apparently this is all Thunderbolt news. Take it with a grain of salt. Twitter information. But most of it does sound pretty legitimate. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right. I just went on Twitter. There is one thing that I know you'll be happy about. Did
Oh.
you know that? Do you know who Rick Riordan is? Riordan? Riordan?
Aragon?
Huh?
Aragon news?
No, no, no.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Wrong fantasy series. Percy Jackson news?
Yes. After
Oh.
all this time, next fall we are getting Percy Jackson in the Chalice of the Gods,
What the fuck?
the sixth book in the series. Is apparently going to be releasing with all of the
Wait, a book?
yeah, with all the hype from like the series and everybody getting back into it. He decided that he's going to be releasing a new book centered around Percy, Annabeth, and Grover
What? What?
as they
What?
embark on a quest to retrieve a missing item that grants immortality.
What?
Yeah, more
But
stuff.
why? We
Money.
what? We
Money.
like so this
Money.
is gonna be, like this is going to be taking place after the last Olympian?
Money. Yes, probably.
What?
Money.
Well, we already had a sequel series.
Money. This might be a prequel book. You never know. Money.
But I'm happy with how the Percy Jackson series ended. I don't
Oh,
need another book.
he wants you to be happy with this too.
Okay.
Why is
Well,
it?
I mean, he's a really good writer, so like I'm not going to complain, but like it's just kind of weird, man.
The big execs were just like, make another book. He was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. So, that's it for the news. Let's get into today's topic. Have you ever been to court?
No, I can't say that I have. I've watched a lot of Court Cam though.
Yeah. Lawyers, attorney, defense, all of these things
Comedy.
and more. Comedy, fourth wall breaking, all of these things encompass She-Hulk, attorney at law.
She-Hulk in the comics break the fourth wall often.
Yes, she's actually the first comic book character in Marvel to do it, not Deadpool.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right.
I do find it a little jarring because like nowadays she doesn't do it. Like it's not like a thing for her.
Yeah.
At least like from what I remember reading within the past 5 years. Though then again, the last 5 years she was also like a mindless Hulk instead of like keeping her sanity. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I don't know how we're. I would say like. I don't know. Just go through this from what we remember from the beginning to the end, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the first episode was an absolute blast.
yes, literally, car got blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Car went boom. I was happy. I like explosions.
Yeah, that was cool. We get a brief interview of who Jennifer Walters is. Pretty.
You got to learn that Captain America fucks.
Captain America does fuck. Someone on this hasn't been a resolved plot line. Someone on Sakaar was out for Hulk's blood in some way. Do you think? Spoilers in case you guys cared. Do you think Sakaar? Do you think Scar was the one in the ship?
Like from the Lion King? No.
No. The Hulk's kid.
Oh, yes, I do.
You think and he like blew them up, and then he was just like, "Come with me, Dad," and then they went to Sakaar.
He was just like, "You're my son."
Okay.
I
Yes.
don't remember this part of. Must have
This-
been blacked out as the Hulk for this part.
Yeah, I don't remember this part of Thor Ragnarok, but whatever.
My son's really old.
Okay,
Maybe that's just like the Hulk bit talking.
it is.
You know?
It is. There's a big misconception about Scar's age in the comics. That like, so like, in
So
his
he's probably like a regular looking kid, but then when he goes Hulk, yes.
yeah. So like, okay, this is a weird thing about like what they did. So, like, parts of Ragnarok is of course a loose adaptation of the Planet Hulk book. The Planet Hulk book is like totally different. Sakaar is like this wasteland that has a kingdom, and like they're pretty much like bent on like strength and gladiatorial matches. That's like how the society runs, right?
Yeah.
And Hulk, like, was shipped off in a pod. So pretty much what happened was, if you didn't know, the Illuminati shipped Hulk off in a pod because they were just like, we can't have you doing Hulk things anymore. You're too dangerous. So initially, Reed Richards had found a planet that was supposed to be like no life or very minimal life that the Hulk could live on, and it was pretty like it had enough resources for the Hulk to survive for the rest of his life, right? However long that was going to be.
Yeah.
The thing is, something went wrong, and he ended up on Sakaar, a war-torn world that was incredibly harsh to anybody who was there, even for the Hulk. Like, it was pretty rare in the comics for anyone to really make the Hulk bleed or have like very major wounds on the Hulk without like him just killing them afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
most of the time it took another gamma irradiated monster to do anything to the Hulk. Or unless you were a Wolverine and you just kept healing every time he tore you apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it took a lot of it, like adamantium claws, like, or big bombs. Even then, he could like tink like giant atomic, like giant bombs. Sakaar was like one of the Hulk's first challenges in his life. Native creatures would attack him. Native creatures would pretty much like fuck him up completely. So it got to the point after he met like civilization that was on the planet, that the Hulk and Bruce Banner both mentally agreed that they had to work together, right? They had to work together. They had to use Banner's brains, and they had to use the Hulk's strength in order for them to survive on this planet. Because if one or the other died, like, it was over for the other one as well. So that's where the persona of the Green Scar exists, as this midpoint between Banner and the Hulk. So, which is a very important thing when you lead on to the end of the series, because all of the actions that the Hulk makes up after this point, like the Hulk does after this point, isn't just like, oh, the Hulk did it. Like, don't blame Banner. Both of them are very aware of what they do. Both of them are very aware of their actions, and they both agreed on it before any of it was done. So, long story short, Hulk becomes a gladiator, works through, like, rising through the ranks, eventually kills the king, betroths someone who, like, has been with him the entire time, gets her pregnant. The spaceship that he originally arrived on exploded, destroying, like, his entire kingdom. Because, Reed Richards probably put a fucking miniature star in it to power it. It explodes, kills everybody, including his pregnant wife. And he, not everybody, he has like a team that is like his assault, like his, I don't know what to call him, his like squad, like, which includes Korg and Meek. from the
Oh,
yeah, but like they're actually like killers. Meek is just like this giant insect thing, not like in a mech suit. So he eventually creates a spaceship, and he goes back to Earth. And he, if you know anything about the World War Hulk, like Planet Hulk was cool and everything like that. World War Hulk was an event that just like fucked the entirety of the superhero community. The Hulk wanted revenge on everybody who ever did him wrong. He wanted to kill the Illuminati and every single member of it. And he ended up almost doing it. He created a gladiator pit in the middle of New York, made them fight each other without their like powers and abilities, like fisticuffs. And it took a lot. It took like the full strength of Doctor Strange couldn't even kill him. The Ghost Rider gave up because he saw that the Hulk was kind of innocent. Like he wasn't truly the one who was doing wrong because like his I guess it's kind of explained that like his means back up his ends. That like he was done wrong, so wrong that like despite all of the wrong that he's doing, he has justification for it.
yeah.
And it's like the Sentry, who is like the equivalent of like Superman in the Marvel universe, like beats him to a standstill where both of them revert back to their base forms. And even after that, like Banner still transforms back into the Hulk for like brief moments. It's absolutely crazy. They dumbed it down in Thor Ragnarok, like that entire storyline. Something that came out of Planet Hulk and World War Hulk afterwards, Banner being kind of accepted back into the community as like I don't know, like that weird like things happen in comics, but then like you wait a while and then like they really didn't feel like they happened type of situation. A giant green monster comes and attacks Earth and looks for Bruce Banner, and you find out it's Scar, who has actually not been dead the entire time. He actually cut himself out of his mother's womb as a baby, a gamma irradiated baby, and was living on this hellish planet, Sakaar, for the entirety of his childhood, where things were literally trying to kill him, and he had to use his like superhuman strength, like these abilities that he got from his father, to survive as an infant. Literally, day one of being born, had to fight off like vultures and shit, space vultures. Yeah, and then like he comes to Earth and like in his to answer this question with this long tangent, yes, as in his Hulk form, which is more of like a grayish green, by the way, he is incredibly big compared to his normal size. Sakaar, when Bruce meets him, is probably about he's definitely either preteen or younger. Because when he shifts back into like his quote unquote human form, he is a very small child. He is a small child. His clothes do not fit him, and like he's incredibly young and not muscular at all. Interestingly enough, before we move on with this, Scar also has the power of like, I forget what it's called. It's called like the mother power, or like, he pretty much has the power to like draw from the energies of a planet that he's on. It's originally like this weird thing about like the shamans of Sakaar that like use this power, and like it transferred over to him since he's his mother's child. This woman in question is not in Thor Ragnarok, so who knows who Hulk got busy with on Sakaar and who is the father of Scar or the mother of Scar. Yeah. I think they did the her getting the powers really well. Do you know the original origin of She-Hulk?
Um, she was Thunderbolt Ross's kid. Yes, something like that. I don't know.
No. Betty Ross is Thunderbolt Ross's kid.
Oh,
Jen Walters is just a lawyer cousin of Bruce, But her original origins was they were hanging out one time and like a mob was like going after Bruce for something to kill him. She got caught in the crossfire. They went to a hospital. They didn't have her blood type on stock. She needed a blood transfusion. Her and Bruce were the same blood type. Knowing the fact that he would probably turn her into a monster like him, he still gave her the blood transfusion to save her life. And she became the She-Hulk. And the rest is history.
Oh.
Her regenerative powers being better than Bruce's, I don't know how comic accurate that is. It does lead credence to like why she might be like stronger, has a better mentality than him, like doesn't go berserk and everything like that. But yeah. No, interesting introductions. I think it's funny that she got fired in the first episode. Very comedy, haha.
Yeah.
As for some of the other things, some of the themes within the show, her like trying to find her identity as the She-Hulk afterwards, like her like actually towards the end accepting it. Her going on all those Tinder dates is hilarious. You know who reminds me of Ezra Miller?
Who?
Guess one of the characters. They look exactly like him. Yes. Every time I saw him, I was just like, "Oh, this guy's just Ezra Miller." I wonder if they're just like doing this on purpose. Interesting subplots. What did you think of all of the subplots that they had in this? What did you think of?
There was a lot of them. There's a lot of subplots going on. I thought it was good though. I mean, it's nice that like Bruce didn't take up I feel like he took up as much screen time as he needed to, except for kind of like that little bit at the end. But we'll get to that. I the I don't know. There was a lot that happened in that show.
Yeah,
I felt like it was kind of messy.
And like, like towards the end, they kind of did address it. Some of the plot lines that they had, if you didn't know, they did have like the Wrecking Crew, which the Wrecking Crew using Asgardian like weapons is so funny to me. Because the Wrecking Crew is like this E-list group of like villains. I think the Absorbing Man's on that team. I may be wrong, but he's like the only relevant
Absorbing
one.
Man.
He's like the only relevant one. But like that introduces like the subplot of like them trying to get her blood, which apparently has incredibly regenerative capabilities, and like Bruce is just like, all right, I gotta burn it now because we can't have another one of us. That her like dating plot line. There's just a lot. Let's talk about something really cool. The tailor. I forget his name. The guy who makes the suits.
Luca?
Yes, Luca. One of my favorite characters in the series.
Oh, he was fantastic. Every time he was on screen, I was so happy that he was there. I love me some sassy men. And he was exactly what I would look for in like a tailor character for a comedy series, you know. The fact that they had to buy Avengers or Avengers merch beforehand to meet him is okay. I'm gonna say this. Every time the show tried to be funny, the show was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
I was genuinely laughing almost every single time that they were like joking around.
Yeah. It hit its comedy good on most parts. Yeah. And you know, we can't talk about Luca without bringing up the fact that there is somebody that is very important to his storyline. Do you want to talk about the frog guy first?
Yeah, Frogman.
Let's talk about the
Frogman.
frog guy.
Frogman was so confusing. Um, but like I kind of liked it. I remember like seeing people like freaking out that like Frogman was like in a trailer briefly, and I still had never heard of this character before. I when I was watching through it, I had completely forgot that Frogman even existed
The fact that
until he. Why does he fly?
I don't know. He's trying to be like Tony Stark, you know. He's he's a
Jet
man
fuel
child.
inside of those boots.
Yeah. But one amazing character and a bad character make a really amazing character because with the introduction of Luca, we had a little post-credit spoiler. In the next episode after that, I know we're like kind of jumping around, but like bear with us. We're just going over our thoughts on the show.
I mean, we're going about in order with how their plot lines went. So you
yeah.
know.
We get introduced to a very familiar face, another lawyer, Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, the Daredevil, the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, makes his reappearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with possibly edited backstory and everything. Man, it was so nice to see him. I literally got goosebumps when I saw him. I was just like,
Did all
I'm
his own
so
stunts
happy.
too.
Yeah, that was incredible. It's just so good to have him back. I love Daredevil. Daredevil was a character that I really liked. I liked Daredevil before watching the Netflix show. I love Daredevil now. The Netflix show definitely got me into reading more about him, caring more about his character. For those who don't know, the last like 3 or 4 years, the Daredevil run that's been going on in the comics, fucking phenomenal. Between Elektra taking the mantle, Matt Murdock as Daredevil going to jail and having to repent for who he is, both like physically and like mentally as like a person, and like the actions that he's done. I love it. And Charlie Cox's portrayal is always awesome. I go back and watch scenes from the original show like all the time, just because his performance as Matt Murdock is amazing. I love that they brought him back. I think it only makes sense that they bring the other lawyer superhero into the other lawyer superhero show.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
his
I'm this is my first experience with like outside of, you know, Spider-Man. This is my first real experience with seeing him as Daredevil because I've never seen the series now. And it's kind of ruined my plans to get caught up on all the Disney Plus series because now all of that has sort of been like, of course I'm gonna like go and see the new Thor movie and stuff like that and whatnot. But like now the next TV series that I'm gonna watch, which had originally been like going and watching WandaVision finally, I'm gonna go and binge all of Daredevil now. I adored every second that he was on screen. Oh my god, what an
It's so-
amazing actor.
it's so good. Charlie Cox, and the series only gets better when you watch Daredevil, because we were also reintroduced to another one of the Netflix original character or Netflix original actors in Hawkeye. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. The two of them are phenomenal together. I love Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal. I think it's a little weird, like in Hawkeye, just because he's kind of a little dumbed down with like his powers, like not his powers, but like the power that he has over Hell's Kitchen in New York. The Netflix series definitely portrays him more comic accurate, or even like the show accurate for like the Spider-Man show. And it's so good. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It is amazing. The characters are like the best characters. If I have to say, if the Netflix shows are considered canon now, Daredevil has probably the best written characters in all of the MCU. I would say Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock is the best written character in the MCU, if I'm being honest. Between him and Steve Rogers, best Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, and Matt Murdock is being played as Charlie Cox are the best written characters. But we're not talking about this isn't the Daredevil show. This is She-Hulk. This is She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
And Tatiana did an amazing job. She was great. She owned that role.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. She also owned Daredevil in bed, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Just like the Hulk smashes things, she also smashes Daredevil.
And a couple of men that she met on Tinder, or one man that she met on Tinder.
I match her. Thank you.
Who does not like Jennifer Walters? Only She-Hulk. He has a kink.
How'd you feel about her talking to the camera?
When it came up, sometimes I was okay with it. Other times it really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of weird sometimes because like I was talking about it to myself. I was just like, oh, like this scene, blah, 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 blah. And then she looks at me and talks to me, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, and then other people like kind of react to her, but also don't. I personally am not a fan. Like I like it when characters break the fourth wall, and maybe it's like maybe that's just like a kind of thing that like is easier to portray via comics, or like breaking it into not an action scene where people are constantly moving, like with Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Deadpool. Whenever they broke the fourth wall in Deadpool, it was very much a comic panel. It was very close pan in on his face, or like it's just him staying still. But like She-Hulk, whenever she like a lot of the times when she broke the fourth wall, she was like moving around, going through the office, making comments about people openly. And I'm like, what? Why is she saying this in front of her brand new boss? But she wasn't. She was talking to just us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you feel about Titania? I feel like that was a plot line that could have been like
oh my god, what
season.
did they do to this character?
I feel like this could have just been an entire season of the show. It didn't have to be like another underarching plot line. Just me.
Titania could have been like, you know, the person behind trying to get like the serum and stuff to make her like as strong as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And actually trying to steal the She-Hulk moniker like they had done and then resolved entirely in one episode.
Yeah.
Titania seems like a pretty cool character, and also like kind of a scumbag. But you know, that's what like a good villain should be. You should like the villain for how like bad they are, you know? And that's how I started to feel for Titania.
It's an interesting concept because Titania, especially like now in the comic books, like she's a reformed person, like actually. She just does shit to fuck with Jennifer Walters. So like when She-Hulk finally got like her sanity back and she could transform into like when Jennifer Walters got her sanity back and could actually transform into She-Hulk without like, I don't want to say get her sanity back. She died.
She would like Hulk out all the time.
Yeah, so the problem with her was the second time she died, because it's explained in the comic books that every time somebody becomes a Hulk, it's actually the process of them dying and being reborn through this thing called the Green Door, which is like part of hell that the one below all created. And like it's low key like all Hulks are like the soldiers of like the one below all, and like they're all dead but get revived because of him. Kind of confusing if you don't know what I'm talking about. But she dies the first time, becomes She-Hulk. That's how she becomes a gamma irradiated. Gamma radiation in the Marvel Comics universe is apparently like magical fucking voodoo shit. That's apparently tied to like hell and everything. But the second time she died, she was brought back and like she just gained a berserker form. Like can no longer be like sane She-Hulk. She was just berserker. After a lot of stuff, including therapy from like Thor and like different characters, and I think she ended up going back through the Green Door again during the Incredible Hulk's run, where all this was introduced. She eventually just gained everything back that she previously had. Like Titania was just kind of like fucking around with her. She was like, hey, and she was just like, aren't you like not a villain anymore? She's like, yeah, I'm not, but this will feel good, and like rips out a lamppost and like fucking like knocks Jennifer Walters into a bus.
No.
Yeah, Titania could have been like her own actual character. I mean, she kind of was in this, but like a better
hope-
developed character.
Yeah. There's probably going to end up being a season 2,
Yeah.
or at least some kind of continuation with her. And if and when that happens, I hope they flesh her out more, because I did enjoy having her there.
Yeah. Same. Wongers.
Oh my god, I loved that. I loved that so much. That was
I wish-
so funny.
I'm just saying, I wish we saw more Madison and less Titania.
Honestly, Madison was an unexpected highlight of that whole subplot line. That was amazing. I like they probably like got it on. The Sorcerer Supreme and
Wongers.
Wongers, more like dongers.
What was it? Madison with 2 S's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think.
But it's not where you think.
Herbie, okay,
so
like
funny.
I think this makes me think about like the terrible like linear storyline that this was trying to explain, because like the magician who left, like not Kung Lun, what the fuck is the fucking name of like the Sanctum Sanctorum?
Oh,
Kung. We're a podcast. We can look stuff up.
It is it is not Kedarnath.
I was about to say
It
that.
starts with a K. Oh my god, I'm so unprepared. Comertage.
Comertage, not Kung Lun.
Comertage.
Kung Lun has to do
Reinforce your mind.
with Kung Lun is
I love Wong. Where have they announced like a Wong solo series? Because I just want to hang out with Wong for
no,
a while.
this is Phase Wong.
Face.
Kung Lun is not where the Sorcerer Supreme is. It's Comertage. Kung Lun is the place that Danny Rand, the Iron Fist defender of Kung Lun, defends. Except in season 2 of Iron Fist, where spoilers, Kung Lun gets fucking raided and most people die.
Turn into the Silver Fist.
Yeah, so the Comertage like runaway, like using shit, and like her having to go there, and Wongers having to like recruit her and everything. Super interesting. There was this meme where like she was definitely looking at Wonger's dick, and like she just like eyed him and then like made eye contact, and Wong like looked at the ground intensely.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, no, I think about that scene every time from Multiverse of Madness, where like Doctor Strange is just like, she's breaking the barrier. Like he says it in the most monotoned voice, or like not yelling at them. He's like, oh, the barrier, Wong, and he's just like, he's sorceress.
Fortify your mind.
He just yells it. It's so funny.
So good.
It's like telling your parent to like, oh, can you tell such and such to come help me? Oh, go help him! Like, oh,
Benny.
like so funny. Oh, what does he say? He says, "Reinforce your minds, strengthen your body." Oh, it's so fucking hilarious. I can't wait to see more Wong.
I'm so excited. How did you feel about our boy Abomination coming back? I really liked him.
No, I thought it was good. I feel like, Abomination in like the comics is usually like a hit or miss. Most of the time, they just like use like his powers
Yeah.
as like a means to an end. But like honestly, I don't mind it. I like the redesign. I like how they don't explain the redesign from the original from like the time we saw him.
Yeah.
His whole storyline, maybe he's a misogynist. Who knows? Because of the
Nah,
end.
he's just got a lot of soulmates, man.
No, I just maybe he should look at who's renting out his cabins once in a while.
That's true.
His ending, I honestly, so like okay, at the end, like the second to last episode, when we like she gets like at gunpoint and everything, I told myself this. I said this could be a couple people like this. I was like, this could be a couple things, right? One, she's just looking at us, the audience, which was exactly what it was. She wasn't looking at anybody. She was looking at the audience because then the next episode just transitioned to the resolution, right?
Yeah.
Or this could be a couple people to help her. I said, one, I said, it can't be Wong. Wong wouldn't make sense. Two, it could be Titania because Titania is trying to like pick up on something here, right? I said,
Yeah.
next, it could be Bruce. I think Bruce is the worst option here because if Bruce is just here to save and bail out his cousin, this throws every bit of progress that Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, the entire fucking crew made and throws it under the bus completely in a volcano on a distant planet, shipped off into another galaxy. Like, just gets rid of it.
Yeah.
I said, if anybody's going to show up and actually be her moral support, it's going to be Abomination and the boys. I was like,
I was kind of convinced for a while. And like up until like the reveal that it was actually just Todd. I was like really convinced that that it was actually just Abomination the entire time. And this was like his plan to get back at Hulk. Which I was at the edge of my seat when like the freaking whatever his face with the crowbar showed up, and he was like, "Oh, I spent too much time in the yurt." I was like, no, they're gonna lure her into a safe place. They're gonna get her to open up and be like, "No, it's okay to be Jennifer right now," and she's gonna go back down into her normal stuff, and they're just gonna like shank her, and steal her blood. And sure enough, like they get her in the circle, they talk her down, she turns back into Jennifer, and then she just has a really lovely time in the yurt. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, if anybody's going to come and save her, it's going to be the boys. I was like, it doesn't even have to be Blonsky. I was like, it could just be the Taurus dude,
it's true.
Spaniard, the vampire guy, and the porcupine dude. It could just be those four. If those four were on the other side, that would be better comedic gold than Thor
Rehab
Ragnarok.
for E-list villains.
Like, I was like, perfect people.
When they introduced the bull guy and like seeing him seeing the Matador not Matador, so there were so many points in this series where I was just like, what the fuck is happening right now?
It really confused me when I saw them. I was just like, I think I saw these I think these were like in the trailer on like set photos or something like that, but I'm completely taken to left field right now.
Her car.
Yeah, like her trying to find Wi-Fi and everything.
You can apologize by paying for the damages.
He was like, there's no Wi-Fi here. And then she's just like, well, fuck, I'm leaving then. Like, I'm going to go walk around until I find Wi-Fi. The guy who thinks he's a vampire because his dad would, like, suck people's blood or some shit like that.
Oh my god.
And then the guy that totally just looked like it. This guy looks
Porcupine?
He looks like he belongs in, like, it looks like a Mario character or he looks like he belongs on the Jawa's home planet.
No, he just plays a lot of Warzone.
I don't know. It looks like it's a giant spiky ghillie suit that kind of looks like I don't know. He looks like he could fit in with the Jawas. It's like the King Jawa.
Houdini.
Yeah, totally. And then it was one of the guys from the Wrecking Crew. I was just like, huh. But like, it felt fine. Like, I didn't feel like, I don't know. Towards the end, I was just like, maybe when he's like, like when he was in the kitchen, and like she came over, I was just like, maybe this is when he's gonna show his true colors. But no, he's actually a reformed dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Let's talk about the end. Blonsky.
Okay.
Blonsky.
So before the end, I thought the show was a solid 8, moving towards a 9. I was very much enjoying it. After the final episode, I think the show's a 5. It hurt so bad. I'm so lost.
I thought it was an 8. I give it like a 5.5. I understand what they were doing with it because it was very much like. Did you see Titania's like actress? Or I don't know if this was part of the show, but like the Twitter fucking fuel that was happening, like
No.
before the finale.
No.
She was going off on people. So if you didn't know, Titania's actress, supposedly, it could have just been like people working at Marvel, made a Titania Twitter account where she would tweet different things, talk about the show, be in character and tweet things that Titania would say or promote her She-Hulk product when that was going on in the episodes.
Like they're doing with the boys right now.
Yeah. But there was a thing happening where people were going off on Twitter about like how terrible the show was, and like her on that account was defending the show, and also like people were going after the main actress of She-Hulk. She was rebutting and everything like that, and she was just going off about people were saying like people want the different Marvel, people want something different than the Marvel formula, but when you give it to them they cry about it. And like she was just going off on people. She was like replying to every single hate tweet that she got.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Not sure if that was part of like the whole thing or not, but the whole like inner dialogue type of thing, like towards the end, and like the monologue and her actually like breaking the fourth wall and going to Marvel Studios and meeting Kevin and like fixing it.
Yeah.
It's meta. I understand it. I also think that we could have just had multiple storylines that were better than this.
It felt
Just
like if
saying.
SpongeBob ever met Patchy the Pirate.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot happening, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. But that could just be me. I do think fucking what's his name taking her blood and making it a serum, and like him just becoming like he literally became like a chode. Like,
oh my god,
he was just
he looked so gross. He looked so unbelievably gross.
He was so short and girthy.
And let me say, because like I was very vocal, like when we were talking about the trailer and stuff before, about like how it was like, oh, it's called She-Hulk, but it should be called She-Ugly, because I just thought like that she looked really really bad. She looks so much better than she did in the trailers. I had no issue seeing her on screen, but man, I almost puked when I saw Todd.
I do say somebody did show me like the scene, like some of the scenes like with bad CGI. They showed me the scene with Daredevil walking on the grass, and that was CGI, and I kind of almost like gave up on the show.
Wait, Daredevil on the grass was CGI?
Yes.
Like doing the walk of shame was CGI?
Yeah.
Why? Why did that have to be CGI?
I don't know. There was definitely
what was CGI about it? Was it like the entire scene around him?
So it was like, okay, so like it was green screen. So he wasn't actually like on grass. He like was just walking on a green screen, and like the background was the person walking their dog and the rest of the scenery.
What?
Yeah. That wasn't CGI. It was just bad like green screening. Yeah. Blonsky maybe being a misogynist and hosting those people, it's one thing. Uh, Twerking video, not with Megan the Stallion, but like her college video. Just saying, hit me up. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting show.
I,
It
I
wasn't.
was willing to suspend my disbelief for a bit, where I was like, sure, um, she's been breaking the fourth wall the entire time. Sure, this could be the direction that they're taking for this. And then she met Kevin, and they like started just breaking apart the series and like fixing the ending. I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting back into it. I think this is funny. This is cool. She's gonna go back. It was really funny that he was like, can you transform but do it off screen because the budget is we're at the budget right now.
We're working on
That was
Wakanda
really
Forever.
funny.
We're working on Wakanda
Um,
Forever. Can you please
oh my
move on? Yeah.
But like I
The show definitely
I
wasn't.
had him. Yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't tied. The ending wasn't tied with a bow.
Yeah, I had a really big issue because of how fast they ended it after that. Because when she went back, everything was done. He was actually in handcuffs.
Yeah, no, everything
There was no
resolved.
actual fight. There was nothing bad. Abomination was actually back to just being Emil, and he was like signing away his thing. Like, I wanted to see an actual fight at the end. I wanted to see, or some kind of actual like big resolution. I wanted that big crowd of people to either like get arrested or maybe like have some kind of change of heart or something because of Jen or anything like that. And it was all just sort of taken away from us.
Yeah, the resolution of it all came without any repercussion on anybody's part. Because like they set this thing up with like her power, like gaunt, like her anklet, like to repress her powers or something like that. They bring up the Sokovia Accords in this. Like Matt Murdock brings it up, and like this is the first time the Sokovia Accords have been brought up since like they've only really been brought up previously in like the Spider-Man movies. But before then, it's only been in Civil War. Like the first time we heard it was the last time we heard it until like No Way Home,
Yeah.
or maybe it was probably far. It was probably Far From Home. Far From Home, we heard it for the first, like we heard it outside of Civil War, but like he brings it up because of like identity and everything like that, and like superhero privacy and things like that. There was no repercussion for that because she was like under house arrest or something like that. We also don't have like any resolution to like her being jobless or anything like that. Also, Daredevil just shows up for some reason.
Yeah, no, he just drops out of the sky in broad daylight.
Yeah, it.
And then, even though he was supposed to have gone back to New York that day, and now he's staying for a full week.
Yeah,
Like, don't get me wrong, I love that Charlie Cox is still on screen. Their whole like family dinner thing at the end was very cute and very fun. Hulk showing up with his son was really weird.
yeah, it was something that I thought was gonna happen, and when it happened, I was just like, oh. And then he had like the worst haircut ever. I was just like, oh. I was like, oh my god, he got messed up, so fucked up. Yeah, I don't know. Everything was so odd. They had so many different things going for it, and like a lot of it was dropped midway, or like was for the butt end of the joke with Kevin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We gave our ratings. It's
I don't want this to be like
what? It was Game of Thrones where they're like, this show is great, just don't watch the final season. I don't want to say this show is great, don't watch the final episode, but honestly, like, this show's great, don't watch the final episode.
Yeah,
If you're worried about having your opinion changed.
Yeah, it really did like 180 me towards the end there. This is probably, I hate to say it because I don't want this to be like, oh, we hate She-Hulk.
Yeah,
But
because
in my-
I like you and I both like share the opinion. It was an 8. It was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show until we got to the final episode. And there's parts in the final episode that I do like, but there's so much bad that it just overshadows like all of the good stuff that was happening because nothing got resolved.
Why is she walking around Disney campus? Why are some people reacting to her being there, and then other people who are like even closer to her not reacting to the fact that She-Hulk is walking around in person?
I'm okay with that.
Why did she jump through the Disney Plus main menu?
I'm okay with stuff like that. I'm just less okay with like them throwing, oh, this is cluttered and we don't like people are expecting this and that, and then them saying we'll fix it, and then we're getting the resolution of nothing happens. Like everything's just solved. Which I guess kind of fits into her character or something, breaking the fourth wall. Honestly, this ending feels more fit for like a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Not She-Hulk.
Especially like close to the end of like the second to last episode where she like just walks out of her bedroom and she's like, why are you guys still here?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I will. I don't want to sound like a She-Hulk hater, but it's definitely the worst. Like, what if you finished all the way through? It's definitely the worst Disney Plus thing we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
I definitely say strongly the best thing. I still need to watch Werewolf by Night. It's not going to be something like big topic thing, but like I still need to watch it because it is a Disney Plus thing. I still think Moon Knight is like strongly up there.
Yeah, I agree.
And like,
And then if you have free time past that, hop on Netflix. Watch Bubble.
yeah, or go watch like Daredevil.
Yeah, watch Daredevil. Watch to episode 8, go watch Daredevil, and then after you have this awesome experience, go watch episode 9 and see how you feel.
I don't know. It's so bittersweet to be talking about the ending of it. Because like I want to say, oh, this was really good, because like the criticism they got in the beginning, I feel like most things now, like media wise, if you like if Sonic the movie has taught us anything, the internet can bully producers and like the entire creative teams to 180 whatever they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the fact that it got harped on so much when the first trailer dropped, and it just like ends on this note, I feel like it just adds fuel to the fire. Like we were promised something, we were shown something bad, promised something strong, and it just ended kind of weak. Like I just wish it was better.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think that I don't know how it could have ended, honestly. Maybe with, a stronger character being the
Tatiana
actual
being
villain.
the main villain the entire way through would have fixed most of it, honestly.
Like, there was no main villain.
You had such an awesome character and you like kept building her up since episode 1, and now you had her like they didn't even bring her up when she was talking to Kevin. They didn't bring up the fact that like, why is she here? They kept her in technically, but then they never showed her off when they went back to the actual episode. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We gave our ratings. You've been here, listening to us up to this point, so you know our opinions of it.
Why are you still here? The
Why are you still
podcast is
here?
over. Go home.
I don't know. I hope what they do with Jennifer Walters, a possible season 2, and the future of She-Hulk is better than the last episode. That's all I can say. That's the last thing I'll say
I
about
agree.
it.
I agree.
But yeah, with that, that's the end of the podcast. Tune in next time for something. Not exactly sure. We'll have something for you though. Maybe Marvel, maybe DC, maybe Ben 10.
Oh,
You guys like Ben 10, don't you?
maybe we should watch the German dub of the original Ben 10 Alien Force movies for a Belgian boy.
Oh, no. I don't know, but yeah. This is the end. Thanks for listening. If you want to contact us, you can message us and tweet at us at our Twitter handles. I am at lying lying underscore mask.
I'm Vincent Barlow 8.
And you can reach both of us at domestic BF Pod on Twitter. Send us
Shout out to
questions.
Maverick.
Yeah, shout out to Ultimate Maverick X for our art. Yeah, talk to us, guys. Maybe, maybe not. It's up to you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Tune in next time where we'll talk your ears off about something else. Go watch Bubble. Thanks for listening.
Stay beautiful, everyone.